Fanboy Modeling School.
Hello and welcome to the Fanboy Modeling School. I am the Fat Mantis, now in HD. I'm here with my homie in crime,
Steve Bonino Gimmicks, also in HD. How the hell are you, bud?
I'm doing good. You know we're gonna fight tonight, right?
I don't want to fight.
I've been looking for a fight. I
can tell, man. Shout out to D-Love, first one in over in Rumble. What's up,
what up, D-Love? Yo, home girl.
D, video games are back, D.
The end of video games. You know why?
The end of video
because
games.
they don't want hot people on their screen anymore.
Oh now, my goodness.
We're gonna, I don't know. Should we start with that one, or should we just talk about you know what? Let's talk about video games in a general sense first.
All right, before we do all that, folks, make sure you tune into the Fanboy Modeling School over on RizRadio.com, Riz Radio Live 365, YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, and sometimes X if we feel like it. Let's be real. X is full of troglodytes and women haters.
You said it better than I could have ever said it.
All right, so we just had the state of play from PlayStation. Xbox just did their reveal today, and man, oh man, bro, the horn is real. Games are back in a real way, man. We had so many good drops over the last few days, and obviously as a God of War fan, since God of War 1, the original game, I've played every God of War game. I've owned every God of War game, DLC, expansion packs, all of it. I've done all of it, bro. And we got a reveal for the next game in the God of War franchise, which is God of War Laufey, which is based on his wife, Faye, the mother of Loki. Obviously, they've taken a lot of liberties with Norse mythology, as they do in the God of War.
Yeah, they do the gods. You know, I don't think they've ever read a book on mythology, these guys.
But man, 20-minute trailer at the very end of the state of play, right? So they showed a bunch of games. Obviously, Wolverine. Woo! Wolverine looking amazing. Got people complaining about Wolverine, though. Seen some crazy stuff coming from the crazy sector of the internet complaining.
Oh, I got two complaints about that.
As I said, from the crazy sector, of which you are chief executive and financial officer.
You know what? I'll take that.
But yeah, man, the last 20 minutes, the reveal was great. Game starts off with the cut sequence from the God of War 2018, the first installment in the Norse mythology, and it's when Kratos and Atreus are setting fire to Faye's body, and then immediately cuts into the new game. Visually, it looks amazing. I have no complaints from what I've seen. I was really surprised that they showed 20 minutes of it, because obviously that's all playable content, so that's gonna be great. They also showed 20 minutes of Wolverine, which I gotta be honest with you, man. Shout out to Insomniac. The gameplay on that looks incredible. Just looks incredible, man. Here it is.
Here it is. You know, I thought we weren't going to talk about Laufey, but we should. You know, if we're bringing up Laufey, we got to talk about the objections now.
Okay, so I want to give you a chance to lay out, before you get into this, right? This thing that's hovering above us. What was just your initial reaction as a gamer seeing Wolverine 20 minutes Laufey 20 minutes. What were your reactions?
So, Wolverine, I really, really loved for a time being, and it definitely looks like a fun, hyper, amazing, playable game. It looks like it's because here's what it is. I see people complaining, and usually these people are not actual video game people,
Exactly.
and they're complaining. They're like, it looks like he's just like hacking and slashing throughout the video game. Yeah, that's the appeal of playing Wolverine.
Right.
That's why one would play it. We don't do it for the dialogue.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? You fools. So we're having a good time. And then suddenly he for some reason needs some assistance. He's handling these fools, right?
Right.
And then who should fly down? Somebody for some reason wearing a black trench coat. It doesn't even make any sense there, unless there's an in-game reason.
Right.
And I see this trans woman come down,
Oh,
right? and she's weaving pink energy, and I'm like, oh, they got a new character going on? Turns out that's Insomniac's rendition of Jean Grey. That's right. She's the one in the middle top, right up there. And so this is my top 6 right here. My top 6 complaints about the video game world, right? And Jean Grey, of course, hits it. So who the hell is this ugly bitch? I don't know. It's top tier ugliness, and I'm like, I don't even know what it. Even look at her. Even her hair is disgusting.
Yeah.
Ugly fish right? And so that is what upsets me. Then later on I heard a rumor, and this wasn't a part of the trailer, maybe they mentioned, I didn't listen to it, but I hear the internet talking about it. There's no X-Men in the world of the Wolverine game.
No, not that they're not X-Men. They haven't been. They're just not going to appear. Jean is going to appear. There's not.
No. They say the X-Men don't exist in that world, or at least haven't been formed yet.
Yeah, they haven't been formed yet. But you got Jean Grey, who's obviously sent by someone. Shout out to Derpy over in YouTube. Roxy, what up? Shout out. The gameplay does look good. My main issue is that I don't want Jack Quaid as Jelly Cube to be too corny. It reminds me of the cringe of Forspoken.
Forspoken was pretty bad.
I'm a little worried about the Cube person too, but I'm full of cope right now. I'm full of cope.
Yeah, we'll get to the Cube in a second, because we're finishing up on Wolverine. So my first complaint, once again, the uglification. That's what I named this episode. I don't know if you noticed this. I named it the uglification, right? So the uglification of women in video games, which is like, I feel more women should be pissed because it's an assault on women. Like, how are you not offended? How are women not offended that this is what they're doing to you, right?
Gotta stand up for women, man. Gotta stand up for women.
And then to be honest, I'm gonna be honest with you. I actually got through the viewing of Laufey without even noticing what my later complaint would be, because I wasn't paying a close enough attention to seeing her like details of her face, because in passing glance, that's our number one operative up there, guys.
Right.
It does look absolutely like the actress.
Yes.
However, when we hold it up to her, there's something wrong with her. Now, of course, in this image, she just came back from the dead, right? So maybe she doesn't look her best. But there are other shots. If you slow down the trailer, there's other shots of her face. And once again, they took a beautiful actress and they uglied her. As for instance, they fattened her nose. They put bags under her eyes, and they just, they made her look more nasty and medieval. However, I will say once again, it looks like a fun game to play, especially some of her crazy aerial rave maneuvers of fighting. Looks like a good ass time. The gelatinous cube looks cool and funny. You know what I'm saying?
The scene when she pulls the sword from the cube and raises it in the sky, I'm just like, woo! Like, this is amazing, man. But you want to talk about the Ugbos. So
and I have this is a serious complaint. Before it was kind of like, it was only like 1 or 2 games and I wasn't that concerned, and now I'm hella concerned about the video gaming industry. And it's like, why do they need to make the women look ugly? Like, what it is a lot of these women right here are based off of attractive models. For instance, Kay Vess, from Star Wars, our number 6 are over there. That model is so gorgeous in real life.
Right. But
the fact that what they ended up with is crazy. Now, the girl who's Mary Jane is based off is ugly in real life. But she's a writer, and I guess somebody put her in as a self-insert or something like that. You know, it was like ode to her. But Mary Jane was more attractive in the first round.
Right.
They made her uglier, and then it turns out she's a spinning image of an actual ugly writer for the game. For those who are wondering, 4 and 5, you know, these are notorious. These are notorious Ugbo criminals, right? We've got Fable. Fable made the mistake of showing this image of this lady years in advance.
Right.
So people have had years to punch down on this bitch, right? But that is an ugly ass creature. It's a beast. It's a fucking beast, right?
I thought that was an actual meme someone generated. It looks like a Shrek character. for sure.
Right? It looks like Shrek if they like turn Shrek and, you know, AI turn Shrek into a white woman, right? No, that's what a video game person thinks a woman looks like. Oh, you know what? We might actually put that on, Roxy. Roxy's saying you should watch the new Fable trailer.
Certainly going to watch the Fable trailer. We're going to watch the Gears of War. God of War is 20 minutes, and so is Wolverine. So that might be pushing it, but you know.
What Bex Pick Princess Bex is in the house as well. And so basically this is here's my problem. Now we all know Mantis is not a God of War guy.
No, you're not.
You know, I don't. Here's what it is. I've never been against God of War. I never even had a problem with his kid being Loki. Right. Whatever. It's you know, an aspect of the game. But not that I was going to support it anyway, but I have trouble supporting games who uglify bitches, right? And so, like, for instance, I was thinking, and me and you talked about this. I was like, should I get a PS5 so I can actually play Wolverine, which is stupidly an exclusive for, you know, PS, right?
Right.
However, if this is your Jean Grey, I'd rather suck dick in a prison than have to fucking play as a playable character that is as ugly as her.
So, okay, you want to show that little clip image from Instagram I sent you? I told Mantis, in spite of his best efforts, I will not be insulting anyone that holds this opinion. I won't be attacking you for your social opinions on female characters in video games, because I'm showing up as a fan, right? Now I have opinions about this, but all my opinions go out the windows, folks. When God of War trailers drop. That's right, Derpy. When the trailer came out, I said, I am Steve.
Yes, I know you feel very powerful.
Yeah, I know the Jedi series game on PlayStation and Xbox, the Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order, they have the Night Sister character and Mira, I believe her name is, and she's not unattractive. She's not like super hot, but she's clearly not uglified, as you would put it.
The Night Sister character for what game?
The Jedi Survivor series.
Oh, yeah. No, here's what it is. It's not all women. It's this series. It's like, it's particular women. There's no rhyme or reason, but I just have to say, we need to put a stop to it.
Right.
We need to boycott this shit. We need to face these fools, right?
You need to stare them down and stop them from hurting women.
Stop them from hurting women, man. I'm on your side. I'm trying to protect you girls. I know they're all like, look at this creep Mantis. He wants to jerk off to his thing. It's not that. It's general and ease. Let me ask you. Did you ever see that movie The Goonies?
Yes.
Who would you feel more comfortable riding in a car with? Me, and I know I'm not the hottest motherfucker in the world, me, right, or Sloth, that big, crazy, deformed dude from Goonies?
I mean, you know, you do fart a lot.
I knew he wasn't going to answer correctly just to fuck with me. No, because honestly, wouldn't you just feel uncomfortable? Not that you don't know him, not that he smells or whatever, just because of his look. Yeah. And you're like, is he going to eat one of my children? Right? That's how I feel about every one of those girls on the list I just had for you. Is Jean Grey going to eat my fucking kid? That's what I need to worry about, right?
Roxy says no. There was a real model. She had a car accident between games, and she had to have surgery. The writer, everyone says MJ is based on just a writer, not the model. They're just hating on the writer.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's correct. I didn't say that. Like, yeah, I knew that it was a different model from 1 to 2, right?
Yeah.
And I knew 2 was based off. They had located the writer it's based off of. But
so for you, this is a thing that will take you out of gameplay. So you're in the fantasy mode playing the game. Carmen, if you didn't hear me before, welcome in. Thank you so much for coming through Fanboy Modeling School, supporting us on Rumble. Appreciate you.
If you basically, this is an ode to how shallow Mantis is, right?
Okay.
And so I'll give you an example with Spider-Man, of the new Spider-Man movies. My least favorite, I realize what it is. My least, I accidentally did Discord. my least favorite is the first, Homecoming, right?
Right.
You know what I think part of it is?
What's that?
That's the one that Zendaya looked the worst. They made her look really frumpy. So
But you know what I'm hearing from you, man? I'm hearing a lot of self-awareness. You're using words like I'm shallow, this is how I feel. And there's this self-awareness there for you. But I wouldn't qualify you as some Reddit incel making terrible videos about little female characters from video games. Like, you got to admit, there's something wrong with those guys. Not that those two groups are exclusive, right? Guys that hate on less than attractive female characters and perverts that make videos out of little female black characters. But you got to admit, it's a video game,
Here's what it is. I assume they're not jerking off to, the Stellar Blade chick. I mean, I would like to hope that's not what's happening. But it is more comforting to have a chick like that on screen than Mary Jane.
You know what's crazy?
For sure.
Stellar Blade, played a few minutes of it, enjoyed it, still got to get into it, but I remember the original controversy of how they changed the character, made her less voluptuous, and there was a big public uproar about
right. Are you able to see? Is it playing right now?
It's playing. You can't see it on YouTube for some reason, but it is playing.
No, but I'm saying you can see the Instagram reel playing.
Yes, I can see it on Rumble. You can't see it on YouTube.
Is that a YouTube thing, or what is going on?
It's clearly a YouTube thing because YouTube made attractive people. It's playing now on YouTube. So, all right, here's what we got. So we got a video of with the caption above one female character that says "made by Asian incels," and the other one says "made by woke Jewish developers." So one is obviously God of War Luffy, the other one is some game I don't know anything about. But I sent this and it sent them into a rage.
Well, and once again, because basically what it is it's accusing the developers. It's saying their problem is their faith or their ethnicity or something. There's another problem that's causing this to happen, which I'm not going to talk about tonight.
Oh, is that Stellar Blade 2? Is that what that is, Roxy? Oh, yeah. Play part 1, man. I'm going to get another PlayStation 5. My kids have acquiesced in all my gaming materials. I'm down here with a Mac Mini and a friggin' TV, bro.
So Roxy says, my thing is that I want to play an attractive character, but I also think that all kinds of female characters should be represented in games. Like, no yassified Darth Kreia, please. But Mantis, they had to set Zendaya up for Euphoria role, right? Oh, she looks horrible in Euphoria. Yeah, no, that's pretty bad.
Coming to an end, by the way. It's last season. You guys.
Oh yeah. I saw the last episode. It was a huge disappointment.
Oh my goodness.
The new Stellar Blade 2 character looks like they put a baby head in. So this is an accusation they make a lot. I don't think that. They keep accusing Asian characters of being made to look like babies. I think, and I'm gonna sound ignorant here, that Asians just look younger. I don't think they're going out of their way to make them babies. I think that's just an Asian one.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna say Asians, right? I'm gonna say characters developed in Asia. But here's what we got. We all got to be intellectually honest if we're going to have a mature conversation about the attractiveness of female characters in popular video game media. Let's not pretend like bizarre stuff doesn't come out of Asia. Bizarre things that might lend to people thinking that they're catering to a certain subset of.
Like for instance, I assume you're going to talk about what's the one with the little girl. That new game that's blown up, everybody loves it.
Yes.
And
yes.
the guy's running around with a little girl, barefoot little girl.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the game concept. That's fine. That's just a bunch of weirdos on Reddit. But we've all watched enough anime to know that certain things.
Okay, I'll acquiesce to that. I will absolutely acquiesce to that. I will say this: the one on the right, the Laufey, I have to say that the actual cinematic is great.
It's amazing.
The way she wakes up and then gasping for air. It's every pore in her body is like moving. You love it. It's good.
Yeah.
It's just
pragmatic. Thank you, Roxy. Like, yeah, I know you got to represent.
Thank you.
People want all shapes and sizes represented in their video games. I'm not a person that dies for that. Like, for instance, like I'm notoriously anti race swapping characters in any media. Leave the character alone. Let him be who they are. If he was a white guy in the comics, let him be a white guy in the game. And
right.
But when it comes to the attractiveness of a character, I've also never been that guy. Like, I would notice, obviously, if a Tekken character, like Eddie, the girl, the capoeira girl from Tekken that took Eddie's spot, we all knew what that was. But if they made her ugly, I'm not even angry about it.
Which is crazy because Eddie was one of my boys. He was one of my go-to characters.
Cheesiest character in the game. But like, I'm not going to get mad about this because these are fictional characters. Fictional characters. Doesn't really, because I'm not whacking off to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this isn't about whacking off. I don't want anyone to think this is, because here's what I'm saying. I could just watch True Blood and whack off to this actress. Because she was super hot when she was on that show. No, it's not principle. It's my own comfort. I don't feel comfortable around ugly people. I'm sorry. The reasons why Asians look younger, they have certain issues over there. Okay, I mean, maybe
people are going to do bite you. Like
they are. Have you heard the stories? They swipe children. They bite you. They do all sorts of shit. I hear there's all this whole urine stuff with ugly people. It's not pretty, man. It's absolutely pretty. We've got to put an end to this whole thing. I don't know.
Let me ask you a question, man. What is some of the outrage other than the surface level portion of the conversation, which is like, why are they making these unattractive? This is woke. Like, so if this female actress in Laufey, if she was made up and dolled up, you don't think there would be a subset of dudes complaining on the internet because there
absolutely would be, absolutely. And I it's not my section of Twitter, but actually my sister showed me parts of Twitter where they're literally saying women shouldn't be allowed in gaming. We shouldn't let them write or direct video games, that's just crazy. That's just over the top crazy talk, right? So there'll always be those trolls, right? There'll always be those trolls.
Right.
Here, I'm gonna stop showing this.
It's just look, you almost threw up in your mouth a little bit. You're like,
I did. My man. It's just, and so basically the uglification of these women. There's some conspiracies going around, right? And so, have you heard the conspiracy theory? I'm just wondering if you've heard it. I'm not saying there's any truth to it. Have you heard any conspiracy theories that they're okay? So you use the word or incel to describe certain people who are into the Stellar Blade look, right?
No, I didn't use that word. You just showed use that word.
Because I thought on the telephone conversation we had earlier, you may have used it, but
you said incel, and I said, "Hey, did you read what it was?"
No, but before that earlier. But anyway, that's that's neither here nor there. The point is that in gaming, particularly the programming division, but all levels of gaming. More diverse people are coming in, and one group that seems to have a lot of clout in the programming scene is the trans community.
Yeah, okay.
And so accusations are being made that this uglification agenda is to appease them. Now, my follow-up question, here's the illogic of it. My follow-up question is like, are you saying trans people like want to mock women, or like what exactly does it mean?
Okay, so let me just read Dee's comment. Dee says, I actually appreciate when I'm able to create my own character to make her look like me. Yeah, the customization, that's the thing. You know who's a really good person to answer that question is Bex, because Bex actually has put me onto some things in regards to this, that there is a subset of vocal women on the internet who feel as if though that the replacement or this temperament coming from subsets of the transgender community, notice I said subsets, not the totality, want to replace women and are upset that men aren't attracted to the transgender woman form, right? And to that I say, we have free will. If a guy don't want to look at you and be attracted to you, there's no amount of campaigning you're going to be able to do to pull that in. Now, is there a vast conspiracy to replace women and uglify women? To what end? Like, are we just going to start looking at ugly chicks in the game and go, you know what? They're so ugly, I need a transgender woman? Because if that's the plan, that's the worst plan that's ever existed, because the dudes who would be into transgender women were already into you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know. You know, Bex is, you are correct. Bex is the queen of any internet group or like cult or like people who spend too much time on the internet. She knows all of them. You're right. She's taught me about all sorts of. I didn't know about black cotillions. I was like, that's not a thing. She's like, oh, it is, baby. We're alive and well.
You know what's funny? I ended up in certain areas on the internet and commented on stuff, and Bex would chime in like, "What are you doing on this part of the internet?" And I'm like, "I'm here to keep the internet safe. I'm Batman. I'm Batman. I'm here to keep it safe."
So this is the question I have. So are we saying is what we're saying is that this is it created from as part of some sort of agenda?
The black Tatel, what is it? Black Tatilians? It's basically like the, black aristocrats from what's that one show everyone loves?
Bridgerton.
Yeah. So is this a vast conspiracy? So let me make sure I have the conspiracy correct. That transgender developers, not even developers, activists have made their way into the video game industry to undermine the attraction of video game characters to
particularly women, right? Because they don't seem to be messing with the men.
Particularly women, to bolster the attraction towards them. Would that be the end goal?
I mean, that's what I'm hearing. Once again, we at Fanboy Modelings Co admit that this is a conspiracy, and we're just talking what people are saying on the internet. We are in no way accusing any group of anything. The only group I'm accusing something of is video games in general uglifying women.
Listen to me, man. Here's what I'm saying to you, bro. I know you wanted to have a knockout drag out thing with me, but what I'm saying is that the incel community has not made it easy to not criticize them for this type of stuff. But it being Pride Month and all things being considered equal, let's spend some time talking about this, bro. Listen.
Look at what Beck says. Beck says this is just mid-white women wanting to see themselves in media. Everybody wants to be represented, including Ugbos, right? So when Ugbo's sitting there, like the writer of Spider-Man, she's in the writer's room. And so she's like, I wish I was in a video game. And one of her friends is like, you know what? I have some sway over there in that department. I'm going to make sure you're in there. And they get her to be Mary Jane.
Oh, you know what? So it has nothing to do with the trans. Bex is saying it's just ugly women wanting to be represented from people. But I keep trying to tell this target base of women, like, hey, there's someone for anyone, man. And there are guys that are deeply attracted to the plain Janes, to the frumps, to the frumpies, to frampies, you know, to the barista.
See, if there's two characters on that map up there that I have that are trans, it is the Fable chick and it is Jean Grey. Right, okay.
Could they not just be traditionally ugly biological women?
Yo, look at the Fable chick. Look at her. Look.
I can't look at it.
Does that look like it's natural?
Oh
my god! I mean, come on, Wolvie, what are you doing? That's his boo up there, Wolverine. Wolverine. You're gonna tell me the video game we're gonna watch Wolverine hit that? What the fuck? Come on, Steve.
I got a great video that I want you to watch with me. It's only a few minutes.
You put it up there.
I just shared it. Hopefully we don't have any issues with the audio. All right, let's check this out together.
Best things about video games. You know, one of the best things about video games is that they allow us to transcend the petty limitations of the real world, creating fantastical landscapes that defy logic, terrifying monsters, awe-inspiring wonders, and iconic characters bound only by the limitations of the human imagination.
Oh, you didn't put Abby up there. I should have put Abby up there. Abby started the march to this, right? Abby from
game developer, in which case your escapist fantasy entertainment absolutely has to reflect the world we live in today. 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 You've probably noticed that there's been a bit of a shift in the portrayal of video game characters in recent years.
I'm so embarrassed of being
a process that probably has a far more technical name, but which a simple man like myself can best describe as Uglification. It's like gaming is somehow de-evolving even as technology and production costs rise to astronomical levels, producing characters that look less human and more physically repulsive with each new release.
Yeah.
Ruined and terrible for life.
I mean, Jesus, look at the state of it. I don't think anyone wants to go on an adventure with this girl. A quick glance at your average AAA development page is like taking a walk down your average high street in Scotland.
Pause
the
it real
faces you see vaguely
second.
correspond to your understanding.
So I don't know if he's modifying these, but at least one or two of these actresses I know.
Right.
And they are uglified compared to the way they look normally.
Yeah.
They are. They're exaggerated features to make them look uglier.
You know what's crazy about Drinker, man, is Drinker is the exact person that they're rallying against. And when I say they, the people who are opposed to this, just saying that, you know, representation has to be had in games. But I mean, looking at the data he's presenting right now, they aren't easy on the eyes.
I'm saying he's at least he's presenting evidence. Now, normally I don't mess with him. I usually think he just says negative things no matter what.
Yeah,
because that's like his shtick, and you know people find it funny. It's it's his bread and butter. However, I like all the things he's saying right now.
Understanding of what human beings look like, but the features, proportions, and arrangements are so far off that you're left with a disturbingly intense urge to get out of there as quickly as possible.
Roxy says they call him Critical Drinker because his mom drank a lot while she was pregnant with him. Fun fact.
Yeah, Roxy, you better have documentation on that because we cannot get sued like all these YouTubers are getting sued. And Steve, you know about this? Like all these YouTubers are suing each other. Ethan Klein's suing everybody.
Yeah.
It's just, and they're always saying, and they're trying to say, the moment someone says anything, even a joke, they're like, "Look, he's claiming my mother. My mother drank when I was pregnant, and we'd have to be able to prove it."
Well, here's the interesting about the Ethan Klein thing. If it's the same lawsuit, he's suing a bunch of people because they were like gouging his views. They were showing his content on Twitch hours at a time while he was live. So they would restream his live stream and have people over there, which is just a shady thing to do. But
it's so shady. No, it absolutely is. I agree that
never
is shady.
look back. And it's interesting to note that this phenomenon seems to be confined to one half of the population only, almost like it's intentional or something. The problem seems to have been bubbling away for a while now, but like an explosive diuretic fart, it could only be held back for so long before it made its violent entry into the world, destroying a pair of your best Calvin Kleins in the process. And the explosive release finally came with the advent of the Sweet Baby debacle, which has shed light on a lot of things that Western game developers probably would have rather kept secret. But there it is, all the same. I know that was a gratuitous.
Oh, this scene right here is gratuitous. I agree with you. Right, and it's Sweet Baby Inc. That explains Wolverine. So that explains Wolverine because Sweet Baby Inc. is involved in that, just like it was with Spider-Man. And so that particular group is notorious for that. They,
Yeah.
There's hypersensitive, wokies and activists who don't want, their job is to edit video game scripts so that they're more woke. That's what they get paid to do. Yeah, that's what Sweet Baby Ink. That's why everyone hates Sweet Baby Ink. So the writers will have already written something and they'll look over it and they'll be like, you can't do this, or you shouldn't do this. You should make this person diverse. And they just do that the whole time. And so people suspect that the Mary Jane thing was originally from them. They work on a lot of games, a surprisingly amount of games, and people really hate them now, but they are doing Wolverine. So this explains why Jean Grey looks like a man.
I'm looking at their website. Sweet Baby Inc. is an award-winning team of writers and narrative designers who help make stories better. With over 30 games shipped from AAA, indie, and solo developers, we are not just contractors. We are storytellers who can take your project to the next level. Ooh. Yeesh.
Yeah, they're mercenary thugs who a corporation will say, we have a video game in development. Can you teach these guys or help guide these guys into making it more woke? It's essentially
Roxy says, I think they're called sensitivity reader. That's amazing.
Sensitivity readers. That is so funny.
But this shot here, man, like it's like A&T is I remember when the game started, I was like, oh, I might not be able to play this in front of my kids, man. I had to take it out
for people like me to comment on. So just like on my main channel where I talked about the problems blighting modern Hollywood movies, I figured I'd make a video series here about why modern gaming sucks. And truly, where better to start with any good book than the cover? Part 1, everyone's fucking ugly. Now, rather than just point and laugh at how ugly characters have become in recent years, let's see if we
Wait, hold on. Are they trying to say she's ugly?
No,
that's Tifa
no.
from Final Fantasy. Okay.
No, you know what's crazy though, man? Shout out to Mortal Kombat, man. So how do you feel about the Mortal Kombat characters that are ugly intentionally, but still have attractive body appendages?
So, for instance, you know who's super hot? Melina. Now, obviously, people are like, man, she's literally deformed and grotesque. So she has a mouth like Venom. Right? She has a mouth like Venom, if you know what I mean. Right? So, I think she's hot. Here's what it is. Here's what it is. She's hot. She's ugly, but she's you know what I mean. They still keep the sexiness going.
He is dying over in Rumble right now.
But in terms of like, do we mean everyone? Because obviously, Mortal Kombat has more deformed people characters than any other video game. There's always someone wearing a mask for some reason. They've got something burned off, ripped off. They survived a fatality, and they're fucked up.
And that's representation right there, man. So isn't that enough? Doesn't that meet the quota? Like, hey, we got ugly characters over here.
No. So here's what it is. Fake or what I call performative like ugliness is not really ugly. You know what I'm saying? Like for instance, it's like in Last Airbender, right?
Right.
You remember what was his name? Zuko, the fire lord, right?
Yeah.
He has a horrible burn on his face. Yeah, are you kidding me? That motherfucker's hot. He's got it burnt right over his eye right there. He looks like a bad boy. The bitches love that scar. That's not really ugly. Do I need to show you the wall of Ugbos again? Those bitches are ugly.
Shout out to them for not making Korra less than attractive. They did make
this one down scientifically, and that being the case, the first major problem seems to be a general rejection of femininity and female beauty in modern game development. A perfect example of this is the character model for MJ in the 2 Spider-Man games. It's the same character in the same game series made by the same dev studio, but with a radically different.
Now, to be fair, they did nerf Peter Parker in the Spider-Man game. The first character, the first actor or whatever they used, was wildly more attractive than the guy that we see here on the screen. Do you remember what the original Spider-Man actor looked like?
I don't.
Yeah, that was a big controversy, man. And in fact, some guys were so vocal about it. I was like, you seem to be very upset about this.
I think it's funny if you notice I wasn't paying attention to Peter Parker. I was just looking at Mary Jane.
Appearance in each one. In the first game, you can quite clearly see the facial model has all the traits commonly associated with traditional femininity.
Yeah.
Rounded facial structure, full lips, large
Yeah,
eyes,
she's
and
pretty.
a small nose.
She's definitely pretty.
Now compare it to MJ in the second game, and well, I think you can spot the differences. This version has a large, prominent chin, a wider and stronger jawline,
It's a
thinner
man,
lips,
baby.
heavier eyebrows,
It's a man.
and eyes that are proportionally smaller because the rest of her face is now bigger. In short, she's got a far more masculine appearance than before. Interesting. Or how about Aloy from the Horizon games, a series that I actually quite enjoy. You can see in the image on the left how
She's
she looked
chummy.
in the original game. Not
She's
hyper-feminine by any stretch, because she's trying to survive in a primitive post-apocalyptic world where cosmetics aren't exactly easy to come by, but still she's recognizably female with the softer facial structure typically associated with women. The image on the right, on the other hand, is so masculine that if you were to give her some facial hair, you'd basically be left with a man, and a handsome man at that. Same deal with the main character from Star Wars Outlaws. Prominent chin that would make even Sergeant Slaughter jealous, a wide, strong jawline, thin lips, and small eyes. Jesus, it's like these characters all rolled off the same bland assembly line. It's even more perplexing when you see what her actress looks like. I could go on
She's
and on with
super
this
hot.
stuff all
It's
day,
crazy.
but you get the basic idea. The real question, though, is why? Why are Western developers so against the idea of femininity and female beauty in games? I mean, if I was a cynical man, I might suggest that most game studios are infested with jealous, physically repulsive land whales who can't stand to be reminded that
That's amazing. I just Googled his new Druckmann name. The AI response was Neil Druckmann is not gay. He is Israeli.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
AI is evil. I'm telling you, it's. Hey, you know, at some point we got to talk about the whole is AI demonic thing if we haven't already talked about it. But
Absolutely.
bro,
We might want to do this for layman.
yeah, we have to do. We might have to do that for layman because I got into an argument with an evangelical, and I'm like, you need to get off of Facebook. Quick.
they've broken more mirrors than Conan the Barbarian. But let's go a little bit deeper than that. It's definitely not a technology.
His voice is mad low, but he had the fucking breaking of the mirrors mad loud.
Accurate facial scans of real actors for decades at this point. I mean, look at Julia Voth from the Resident Evil remake. That game's more than 20 years old now, and the resemblance
she's
is uncanny. Or Ellen Page in Beyond Two Souls, which came out in 2013. Or Hayden Panettiere from Until Dawn from 2015. Or Keanu Reeves from Cyberpunk. And as for today, well, all you need to do is take a look at games like Final Fantasy Rebirth or Stellar Blade to see that we're more than capable of rendering beautiful characters on screen. No, the issue here is a creative one. But why exactly? Well, there seems to be this weird assumption that gamers can or won't take a female character seriously if they find them physically attractive, so the only solution is to reduce or remove any element of attractiveness and sensuality, reducing bland.
One, the Stellar Blade, the girl who's guiding her, the one who rescued her, is freaking banging. But another thing is, it's so funny because what he's saying is true. That's kind of what they did with Captain Marvel on the screen. That they were worried like audiences won't take her seriously unless she's frowny all the time, and she can't be attractive. But in life, for me, it's the opposite. I do not take ugly people seriously. They'll be like, they'll apply for, they'll put their name in for a promotion, and I'll be like, "Are you serious, bro? Are you serious?" And so I don't take them serious at all. I think somebody has to have levels of attraction in order to be taken seriously.
That is a take. I like how you're inclusive in the term. You say ugly people and not just ugly women. So you're casting them all out. Ugly guys, ugly women. Put them on an island. Let them buckle out.
Yeah. Hey, I don't want to see an ugly dude in a show either. and here's what it is. If Mantis is the producer of something, the cast is going to look like they were on a CW show. This is going to be Arrow season 1. I'm talking about. This is going to be Riverdale or whatever.
There it is. Speaking of which, side note, man, absolute Green Arrow. I know you hate this term, chef's kiss. It is absolutely brutal.
I need to check this out. I absolutely need to check this out. A lot of the absolutes are hitting the right mark.
Yeah.
Some are just like Ultimate Comics. Some of them are totally off the beat and are like insanely stupid. Right. But I hear some of these ones are pretty good.
Ugly, unappealing models that nobody wants to look at. For me, this is a deeply flawed premise on 2 levels. One, because characters like Lara Croft, Ada Wong, Jill Valentine, Tifa Lockhart, and Aerith Gainsborough are all conventionally beautiful, but they've all stood the test of time as well because they were more than just their physical appearance.
Yo, Roxy, I wouldn't cast Ethan Klein in anything. Let me put it like that.
Their beauty didn't undermine that, it enhanced it. The second reason is, well, down to simple human nature. We as people generally prefer to look at physically attractive individuals. We instinctively seek out beauty, we're drawn to it, and we enjoy being around it. Why do you think so many Hollywood actors or models or pop stars are conventionally good looking? It's the same reason we don't go to art galleries to look at children's finger paintings. We want to experience something higher and better, something aspirational. I know that's
I totally forgot about this part in Final Fantasy VII. I need to play the remake.
Always looking at ugly people. Yeah, we know that most of us don't look like Chris Hemsworth or Sydney Sweeney, and that's okay. We know we'll never have a body like Chris Redfield or Lara Croft, and that's okay too. Why? Because we're not narcissistic idiots who need to see ourselves reflected in everything that we see and do, or have all our hang-ups and insecurities validated by pulling everyone down to our level. Believe it or not, human beings are a lot more mature and resilient than that. The other thing that strikes me is that a lot of the shitty modern tropes from Hollywood are starting to spill over into the video game industry, particularly when it comes to blurring the lines between men and women. Male characters in movies and TV shows today are often depicted as neurotic, insecure, emotionally fragile, cowardly.
You don't want that chick's number.
Deprecating, generally lacking in agency or the ability to assert themselves in any particular situation. Women, on the other hand, are now written to be stoic, confident, assertive, arrogant, and aggressive, which are the same exact traits that were once considered toxic in men. They're basically trying to turn them into men, or at least a warped parody of what they think masculine behavior is. And I think that mentality is bleeding into gaming now as well. Female characters are being redesigned to look more and more like men because game studios incorrectly associate masculinity with strength and femininity.
It's totally insane. Pause for a sec.
Both as just being different paths to the same.
And see, and that's the whole thing. That was the problem with Captain Marvel. That was the problem with Captain Marvel. That was the problem with She-Hulk. That was the problem with a lot of things Marvel had been preaching. That wasn't the problem with the Marvels. The Marvels was just bad all around.
It was just a bad look. It was just they a good character in there too, man. They really did.
Yeah. But like honestly, this idea where they're like for her to be taken seriously, she can never smile, she can't crack a joke, she can't have a good time. And I was talking about this the other day. But you know what they don't realize? Black Widow isn't just hot in the MCU. Black Widow is funny and charming.
Yeah.
Because if you look back at her things, there's a lot of funny gags with her. Like, for instance, in Captain America 2, they're gearing up and they're about to parachute into a battle, and she's talking about setting him up with someone at work.
Yeah.
It's cute. It's this cute scene. But you know what I'm saying? It shows that she has a sense of humor and and she's relaxed. And she's
the great scene in friggin' Winter Soldier when she's like, "Was that your first kiss?"
Yeah, and that we like those characteristics in women. Where they got the idea that we want some frowny lesbian who's trying to crack, smash heads.
I got a hot take, and it's going to piss Bex off. It's going to piss Bex off. Maybe it's going to piss off Roxy. It all started with Daria.
Yes, Daria.
It started on MTV once upon a time with
Daria. Any girl who grew up in the 90s worships Daria.
Daria, Janine Garlopolo, whatever her name was, man, and who was actually really, really attractive. She just... that's her style, man. But she stayed up there for a little while. This is where this whole thing started. Where
Bex loves Daria. I know for a fact Bex loves Daria.
She does, and that's when they started, rightfully so, questioning the conventional beauty standards, like what is considered attractive. And we were all into the hot alternative girl. But I don't even mind a woman being stoic. I just think the hyper representation of this topic is what makes it crazy. Like, not every woman character needs to be stoic, right? So if you got a female team of superheroes, so everyone's got to be the loner, stoic, mad, grumpy person, or is that just the character trait of one person?
Yeah.
Oh,
She said, how did Dario get Dario was funny though. Yeah, no, Dario was funny. I'm not gonna lie. Even I watched Dario. So.
I watched it too, but that's where this conversation started, and it started rightly there, right? What is conventionally attractive to people? What's considered attractive? And now we've moved into this place where it's like, hey, man, chicks with dicks are hot, and it's like, no, I don't think that's hot, bro. I don't think.
What in blue blazes did you just say?
Destination. They desperately want to create tough, independent, empowered women because, let's face it, that's pretty much the only kind of characters they're allowed to write now. And because they lack the skill and imagination to construct interesting characters.
Keep in mind that this character exists in a post-apocalyptic world where she couldn't get those gains. They don't have the right nutrients for the macros that she needs, man.
I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree with that.
40 grams of protein and creatine in to get those guns, bro.
Yeah. If you've seen any of the statues made of people like Genghis Khan or what's his face, General Sue or whatever, these warlords. Those motherfuckers they didn't have definition to their bodies because they weren't working out all fucking day. You know what I'm saying?
Roman gladiators. None of those fools had six packs. They said,
"Yeah, no, there's no way. There's no way. So this is ignorant. This is ignorant."
Actual feminine characteristics. Their only solution is to churn out women who look, talk, and act like the toxic men they despise so much. It's actually kind of funny when you think about it. Their own flawed worldview created a problem that.
You see what that is, my brother? Emulation of the very thing you hate. It's bad when it's a man representing these traits. It's cool when it's a woman representing the toxic.
Right. I mean, obviously it's not cool, but they think it is. They're like, look at us. We can be just like men. But he put up Harley Quinn on the screen. But however, I'll say that's what's funny about Harley Quinn.
Right.
That Harley Quinn doesn't understand to act womanly. She just is a loudmouth jerk.
No, in the comics, in the cartoon, prior, her inception in the cartoon and into the comics, she uses her feminine wiles. It's just that's actually a really good play on how much we'll put up with as men for an attractive woman.
Very hot chick, yes. I mean, her last plot line in Suicide Squad 2 was super feminine, right? She has to seduce the dictator, right? That was pretty funny.
They can only solve by replicating the same exact problem that they created in the first place. Fucking genius. And the thing is, who is any of this supposed to appeal to? Men certainly don't like it because seeing their favorite characters turned into the Giga Chad meme to score social media points and court an audience that doesn't exist is irritating and depressing. Women don't seem to care much for it either because I'm willing to bet that not many of them aspire to look like this or this or this. Female gamers aren't going to feel sad and excluded just because they've seen Ada Wong killing monsters while executing a perfect backflip in a ball gown.
I absolutely want to address what Roxy just said. And so, Roxy, I super applaud you right now, right? So, because this is what happened to comic books, the death of comic books. And so she says, I have a theory that the video game writers are being chosen from a smaller Nepo baby / friends group from Ivy League school pool and not for their talent. And they have no idea how to make good video games.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And then what did she say? She said David Gator was the lead writer on Dragon Age and the first two Baldur's Gates games, and he was gay, but he wrote plenty of hot romanceable ladies. Yeah,
Gator.
He was forced out before Veilguard. Okay, I feel you. Yeah, Veilguard. Don't get me started. But so here, that's what happened, and so it's so funny. I saw the slow progression of this in comic books by going to Comic-Con, right? So I'm an actual comic book fan, and I don't just go to the popular panels. I would actually go to some unpopular panels, which were ones actually about comic book creation, right?
Right.
And people say what you will about Dan Didio. Dan Didio, lead editor in chief for DC during a very controversial time. That dude was a real comic book fan. He was a real nerd. But if you notice, after Dan Didio and probably after Joe Quesada in Marvel, instead of them being, because basically the editors were chosen amongst the other, they were writers or drawers who had been faithful to the company, and they would make editor, right?
Right.
But they started hiring from outsourcing people, and the new editors would have no comic books in their back history. They would be like, "Oh, I was an editor of Vogue magazine. I was editor of High Times magazine," or something that's not comic book related. And because they are prestigious people, they would cut over these people who are actually comic people. And what happened? Comic books went woke. Comic books and it didn't fail just because they were woke, but woke is one of the problems, and then also a plethora of other things.
Yeah, it's an interesting line to toe, right? Between bringing in topics into comics and then saturating it with topics that just don't need to be present, right? I think if you're a great writer, you can introduce something and it can be a part of the story where it's not centralized, and that's the focal point, right? It's just, and that's just my pet peeve, man. Like, you were the one that put me onto it a long time ago, man, when Green Arrow and Green Lantern have their social commentary, infamous
great series.
It was a great storyline, man. It was great because it was written well. Go look it up. We're not going to rehash that whole thing now. But there's something about when you intentionally do something and you lack talent, and it's just like, well, this is just heavy-handed. You become the Rob Liefeld of writing, is what you become. You start putting fanny packs and utility belts everywhere they don't need to be.
Don't even get me started. By the way, this is just a side thing. You know how people have been using AI to make photorealistic versions of like every cartoon character ever, or any. Yeah. So the other day I'm like on one of those Instagrams, and then they have a series of things, and they're like, "Can you name these guys?" And they were all from Youngblood. And, my man, I couldn't name. Well, maybe I could name two. The cyborg is Die Hard.
Yeah.
And obviously Chapel, because I know him from Spawn. But all the rest, I knew they were from Youngblood, but I was like, I don't know the names of any of these characters. They're such losers.
Chapel, Youngblood, the guy that looked like Shatterstar, and Bedrock.
Oh, yes, Bedrock. And also the girl was Vogue.
Right.
The girl was Vogue, yeah. But I agree. I agree. Like, a lot of the characters, I like the Archer guy. I don't even know what his name is.
Oh yeah, that guy is Shatterstar 2.0.
Yeah, you're right. He's a Shatterstar wannabe, but like, what is his name? I don't know.
What was that thing on his face? Why did him and Shatterstar have on fencing gear, bro?
It could just stick to them. Face, no straps, no nothing. Like what?
Instead, they're going to see a cool, awesome, beautiful woman kicking ass and doing awesome things. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Yeah. That's the whole point of playing video games, in fact. They're not supposed to reflect the real world with all its tedious, mundane problems we gotta pause and restrictions. Again. They're supposed to represent.
Sorry about that. Roxy Matt says, I understand wanting to attract new readers, but I was always like, think about Starfire's fat, ugly daughter as an example of who asked for this. Yes. So you know about this whole thing?
No, but that's fascinating.
So they put some writer, I'm just going to say it, a feminist writer puts out a series of comics that ends up being, trade paperbacks called. The title of it is I Am Not Starfire. And it's supposed to be the daughter of Dick Grayson and Starfire from the Teen Titans in the future.
Oh my goodness.
And she's super fat.
Oh my.
And it was a body positivity comic. And for starters, there is no way that Dick Grayson and Starfire are going to have a fat kid. There's just no way. That's the like,
amazing.
I'm just saying, look at them. They're pretty fit people. Right?
Bro, I'm looking at the artist too. This is clearly who approved this?
Yeah, who approved it? And so that's what Roxy was going on about. Yeah, that was one of these horrible experiments in comics that just went terribly wrong. Like, who said yes to this? Here's what I'm saying. I can understand like sprinkling a little of these concepts in there, but who's going full steam body positivity comic, and you're calling out Dick Grayson and Starfire, these beloved characters, for being too fit and too perfect, And their daughter is a fat goth. No offense to fat goths.
One is a princess from a galactic warrior culture. The other one's a vigilante that has trained his entire life to fight supervillains. People are in peak physical shape. It's like,
honest, the body positivity movement couldn't exist in the superhero world. You know why?
Why?
Superheroes are always moving.
Yeah,
they work out nonstop. They're working on nonstop. They're fighting nonstop. They're being physical. Even if you had the genes of a fat person, you would work it all off.
Unless you're Kingpin, Wilson Fisk is enough representation for everyone. All right, just like
he wears his fat. He wears his fat nicely though.
Yeah, he yields it like a weapon, man.
Presents something higher, something better, something more fun. They're supposed to represent what we aspire to be, not what we're stuck with in our day-to-day lives. And the more you try to fuck with that, the more you lose sight of the very purpose of your industry. And well, the more your customers are going to abandon you in favor of something better. Why do you think the Stellar Blade demo made such an impact? It's because the developers were smart enough to give their customers exactly what they want. A kick-ass beautiful woman in a skin-tight bodysuit. And in turn, gamers saw it as a giant fuck you to all the prissy, sanctimonious, fun-killing developers that are slowly strangling Western gaming. And if there's one thing that gamers love doing most of all, it's saying fuck you to people who...
So I blame this all on Batman Begins. It all starts with we got to make Batman believable. Next thing we know, here's a hot take, man. I was watching something great, a little short clip on Instagram the other day, and I love this guy's content. I'll send it to you. He just rates comic books and comic book movies, and he outright said what I've said multiple times. He's like, "So we're mad at Ben Affleck and Zack Snyder for giving us the most lore accurate Batman ever." He was like, in retrospect, this is probably, and he showed the scene where Batman just basically murdering a bunch of people in a warehouse. Right. He's like,
that's an amazing scene.
He's like, this may be the best Batman we've ever had.
We've ever had. People are so angry about the Martha thing. I was thinking about the other day, and I'm sorry to kind of go on a side tangent. No, I understand what Zack Snyder was trying to do. He's trying to point out that they're so similar yet they're so different, right? With the Martha thing. But instead of going with Martha, somehow he should have had a connection with the fathers.
Right.
Because for instance, both of the fathers were good men who their last message to their son was you're going to grow up to be a good person, help people.
Yes.
Right. And so we see that in Bruce Wayne, Thomas Wayne's last will and testament.
Yes.
That, if you've ever seen it or you've seen it in the video game where he's saying use this wealth to help the people of Gotham the way they helped us.
Bro, no one ever points that out. People come after Batman now, my brother. There's actually a subset of blurs that attack the concept of Batman for being a street level superhero that basically victimizes the impoverished. And I'm like, Batman beats up rapists, muggers, and any superpowered meta-human being that has the short-sighted view that they can come into Gotham acting a fool.
So that's the problem with the left, right? And he got me started, guys. He got me started. That's the problem with the left. A lot of the left's arguments, in order to have them, you have to be against law and order.
Yeah.
And so basically, their young have been trained and programmed to be against laws. So if you simply say an argument, for instance, immigration, when somebody's like, you shouldn't deport anybody. And I'm like, even a criminal who doesn't have the legal right to be here? And the idea is we already have a system of laws to determine who can come into the country and who needs to leave. And their only counter argument is we should just ignore that.
Yeah.
Right. So when Black Lives Matter is tearing up a city from a protest, people are we should just ignore that that's violence.
Yeah. Actually, I think the best representation I've seen of that was on a Pierce Morgan episode, and they had your boy Anthony Bryan Logan.
Nice.
And then a young woman activist, and he brought up the point. He's like, well, what about the businesses in these communities that have been burned down that aren't chains? Who's going to look out for them? And she's like, we're not equating the loss of life to anyone's loss of capital. And I was like, but that makes this wrong, right? You're
right.
like, you can make an argument for Target being burned down. It's a bad argument, but you can make that argument. But what about the local businesses? They burned down the friggin' Native American Association Community Center.
I believe it. I freaking believe. Yeah, I believe it. And so, do you remember back in the day the Rodney King? Now, I was young. I was young, so you were freaking young during the Rodney King riots. However, the idea was we understand the rage, but it is a tragedy that such a riot of that size happened, right?
Yeah.
Now it's flipped to go for it, guys. You want to burn down another police precinct? Do it.
And it also put a hell of a strain on Korean and African American relationships in freaking California, because there's always this footage floating around of the Korean store owners having to shoot looters and rioters who were coming to burn down their establishments. Not to mention that a lot of these people had escaped really horrible situations to come to America, and ironically, they're immigrants. And now people are like, "Well, hey, man, stuff happens." I'm like, "What about the immigrants?"
And so it is a shame. It is a shame that nowadays young people don't even acknowledge law and order, that Batman is somehow a villain for trying to enforce the law.
And that doesn't mean in any way, shape, or form we're not acknowledging that people are corrupt and use the law in corrupt manners. Those people should be buried under the prison. But you don't take the idea of someone like Batman. The very idea of Batman is that he is the reckoning for these things.
Right.
And corporate level is what,
which is because they have a lot of stories with Batman, and this makes total sense. I remember Scott Snyder at a Comic-Con explained this. Somebody had asked him, their question was like, yo, why do all your stories always have to do with corrupt cops? Because he's a Batman writer. And he was like, he said, because the normal social contract is that you pay taxes and in exchange the police protect you. And so in order to need Batman, that social contract has to be broken. The cops have to be corrupt, so the world needs a Batman. If the cops were doing their job, there wouldn't need a Batman.
Yeah, the vigilante who is the personification of justice wouldn't need to exist. It's the same thing with Captain America, man. Captain America is supposed to be the literal personification of America, right? He's like the ideals of America, which is why he doesn't have an issue turning on corrupt politicians, right? It's why he would go against a Nick Fury or someone like that would do something that goes against the higher ideals. But people don't like the idea of higher ideals. They like the idea of ideology, right? Whatever is relevant. Let's let Critical Drinker finish this out, because I want to talk to you about something, while we still have time, that is a tragedy, man.
Okay, absolutely.
Box office flops.
Tried to control and lecture them. And for now, at least, Eastern developers still seem to understand that fact. That's the great thing at the free market. You see, the customers can always go elsewhere. And if you don't change course pretty soon, you might just find that out to your costs. Anyway, that's all I've got for today. Go away now. One of the best things about
Mortal Kombat. He-Man.
That's what you're getting. Oh, He-Man or Mortal Kombat, or a general concept of both?
No, not even a concept. Just the outright numbers. Both have flopped at the theaters, man.
Mortal Kombat flopped?
Mortal Kombat flopped. It's being released digital next week.
Already?
Yes. Yes. He-Man I knew was going to flop. There was no way in my mind that movie was making any money.
Well, it's so, this is I don't know. I'm not going to put it, I went to see it.
Oh, I didn't know that. How was it?
So I really enjoyed it. My one only complaint is this Marvel shit, right? And so Marvel has done us all a displeasure of adding too much comedy to their things, and now everyone trying to emulate them says, "Let's do endless comedy too." They're just when I'm enjoying He-Man, there are just times I'm like, you didn't have to make a joke right there. We're in the vibe. What are you doing, I just kind of wish they could just back up off of that. Other than that, I really enjoyed it. It was really great. Skeletor was amazing. He was like the best villain I've seen in like forever.
Apparently, Jared Leto was iced out of all promotion for this movie, man. I didn't know there was some controversy going on with Jared Leto. Like, I didn't know he was on the outs with Hollywood right now.
No, he has been for a while, and there's two things. Well, one, there's these allegations. I don't know the specifics of it, but there's allegations with him being creepy with women, crossing lines. Exactly what it is, I don't know, so I'm not going to say on this podcast.
Okay.
Right? So I don't know. But the other thing is that he's a method actor, and he pisses off his coworkers because he stays in character all the time and does creepy because he's always playing a villain.
Right.
So he's always doing weird shit with his coworkers, and they're all like they kind of hate him for that.
Okay. So a bunch of D tier actors who don't know how to, Yeah, man. It is official. Both movies flopped. The Mortal Kombat one is really surprising me, considering all the buzz that Mortal Kombat had around it and how much fun people had going to see it. Live action Masters of the Universe reboot has officially flopped, opening to a dismal 54.3 million worldwide. The Amazon MGM Studios film debuted with 29.3 million domestically and additional 25 million from 86 overseas markets, which fails drastically short of its massive 170 to 200 million dollar budget.
So that is a shame. Here's what I'm saying. I don't understand how it does record video game sales, and you're telling me that doesn't translate to ticket sales?
Well, that was for He-Man.
Oh, He-Man. Okay. So yeah, He-Man. So here's what I'm saying. He-Man is even kind of old for me. Like, here's what it is. I remember more details about G.I. Joe and Transformers than I do He-Man. He-Man was probably like my older brother's shtick, and I just kind of knew him from him. Right? For instance, I couldn't tell you the plot of a single episode of He-Man.
So I
understand why there's not as much.
It's niche. It's very niche, man. It's very niche. And He-Man is one of those things I enjoyed very much as a kid, man. Like Thundercats. I just never really gave much credence to the lore because it's a guy running around in a loincloth with a sword with a talking cat. It's just 80s stuff, man. But not everything needs to be remade. But if you saw it and you enjoyed it, I was thinking about taking the boys to go see it. But I was just like,
no, you and your boys will love it. You and your boy. Yes, you will. So all the adventure stuff is spot on. All the battle stuff, and actually at the end of the movie when I was really in the zone, and thank God they stopped making jokes, the final battle between him and Skeletor is a thing of beauty.
Really? Is that the fight they basically showed in the trailers?
Yeah, that's the start of it. Obviously it has different twists and turns along the way, but it's some interesting tactics and things happen during it that I'm like, that was actually pretty cool.
Okay. Yeah. It's a shame, man. I do think that we need to revisit the straight to digital market. I obviously want to see it on the big screen and check it out and see how it's represented in IMAX. But that is a movie I think that should have gone straight to digital.
So here's the thing, though. Here's the thing that I gotta say. Now, in our age, we actually there's a second chance for movies. And so it is a la carte digital, right? So if you go to the a la carte service, I'll give you an example. The Housemaid. Originally, people laughed at Sydney Sweeney because she did this horror movie called The Housemaid, right?
Looks really good.
Flopped at the box office, right? Went to the a la carte digital and was in the top 10 for like 5 months in a row.
Yeah, I was
making them mad money.
I was on the plane to Florida, and everyone on my plane was watching it.
yeah, and I ended up watching on digital. I loved it. I thought it was amazing. It was really good. And so what it is that gives them a second chance. So here's what I'm saying: there's still a chance for a He-Man or even a Mortal Kombat sequel.
Yeah.
If a la carte people are actually paying, and the reason why I say a la carte is when that's the first round of digital, and then after that it goes to a streaming service. In a streaming service, it's not making any money.
None.
It might stack up views, but that doesn't mean anything. At the end of the day, they need to prove that money was made, right?
Yeah.
So, if people were just waiting to watch at home with their families, hopefully that's the case. Yeah. Both of them have a chance. I think if anyone has a chance, He-Man has a bigger chance than Mortal Kombat.
Oh, more
just simply because it's family friendly.
Oh, absolutely. So officially, Mortal Kombat 2 is considered a box office underperformer, not a flop.
Not a flop.
While it grossed over 125 million globally on an $80 million production, so it turned a profit, it struggled to hit the 150 million to 200 million threshold required to break even. Interesting. The film experienced a sharp 66% drop in its second weekend and was pulled from theaters early to pivot to digital streaming. The $80 million production budget for Mortal Kombat 2 was roughly 50% higher than its 2021 predecessor. The financial shortcomings are generally attributed to two main factors. Fierce competition. The film was shifted from its original quiet October release window to a highly competitive summer schedule. Yeah, that was a bad move. It faced immediate competition from blockbuster releases like Michael and The Devil Wears Prada 2.
Yeah.
Theatrical splits, because studios only keep a percentage of the worldwide ticket sales, often around 40 to 50% after theater chains take their cut, and still have to pay for marketing, falling short of the 150 million break even point meant for film. But hopefully, like you said, they'll see some of that return back on digital, because I actually really enjoyed Mortal Kombat. I had a great time in the theater, man. It was a good flick, bro.
I mean, I loved it. I loved Mortal Kombat, and I loved He-Man too. So, you know, obviously in different ways, but that is really disappointing. I mean, I guess there have to be losers in this game. This year, in terms of movies, is doing amazing in the box office. Where, you know, like way more. They're having way more hits than they normally have.
Okay.
And I honestly, I think 2025 was a really shitty year for movies. I loved Sinners, don't get me wrong. Yeah. But other than Sinners, there's like maybe 2 or 3 other worthy movies. The rest were just crap.
Hey, can I say something, man? I love Sinners. So before my black card gets revoked, I have not watched it again, though. Not a 2-time watch for me.
Really?
Yeah. Saw the premiere in the theater. My theater was packed, bro. It was 10 o'clock and you would have thought, like, bro, it was literally packed. Saw it, enjoyed it, loved it, moved on.
I'm gonna take your black card right now.
No. I saw Black Panther 9 times. That's good for much credit. But I agree with you, man. Like, but I just think some stuff, you know, a la carte digital is the way to do it, man. Mortal Kombat needed to come out in theaters. They had to test it. I'm thinking they thought they were going to have the same success as Predator Hunting Grounds, which I don't think was an anomaly. I just think it's a different fan base, right? And after Prey, which was a superior movie to Mortal Kombat 1, released around the same time during COVID era, it was just Prey was a better movie, and Predator Hunting Grounds is definitely the superior movie of these two.
Yo, I just don't understand. I just don't understand. Like, where are the Mortal Kombat fans?
I'll tell you where they are.
All on Rumble.
They're streaming, not supporting their movie, man.
Yo, actually, did the Rumble kids go to see it? I
don't know if Berlin or anyone went to go see it, to be honest with you.
You should confront them on this and be like, it's your fault. It is your personal fault.
Your power to ruin this, man. But yeah, at least it's coming to digital, so I am going to buy it. I'm going to get back into habit of buying physical media or buying the digital on like Google or something like that. That way I can own it, man, and just start.
We need to bring back physical media, yo.
It's got to happen, brother. It's got to happen. But yeah, it's a shame, man. It's a shame.
But the question is there a new physical media? Do I have to keep buying Blu-ray, or is there something more advanced I could do? At this point, I want like a little cube that I stick into the thing, and then it's the movie.
It's called an SD card, and yes, you can still buy.
I don't want it to feel like an SD card. You know what I mean? I want it to feel like something magical or new, like from Tron or something.
No, people still rock out with their Blu-rays, man. In fact, Blu-rays are in high demand. If you go on places,
I hate the idea that you can scratch your movie. You know what I mean? It's a flimsy disc, and here's what I'm saying. You know, obviously thumb drive, right?
Yeah.
You know, this is way better than a disc, right?
Absolutely, bro. Come on, man.
But I was just saying, I want a little cube, plug it in.
But you know what? Mandalorian didn't perform much better. If you entertain the people, I will get the
thing is I could see that coming though, and that's the whole thing. Obviously season 3 did horribly, and then also Mando. Did you end up seeing it?
Yeah, I saw it with you, fool.
Look at this asshole right here. The Mantis. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Yeah, and we both liked it. However, it wasn't epic. It wasn't something to call home about.
Right. It was,
and so I've thought about that. Yeah, it was super safe, and that's the problem. And so I've thought about this. So you used to watch Transformers as a kid?
Yes.
You watched the movie in theaters?
Yes.
So what they did is they took the Transformers, right? And they were like, we're going to go to the movies with Transformers. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a super long episode. Except in this episode, we kill off most of the cast, including the hero Optimus Prime. We introduce a new one, a new guy who claims to be the chosen one, and Unicron, literally their version of the devil that eats planets. That was so, they went balls to the ball, right? Yeah. G.I. Joe did the same thing. G.I. Joe, it's normally these terrorists or whatever. They then do this, in the movie, the secret origin of Cobra Commander, and that he's really from underneath the ground in a secret city called Cobra La. There's serpent people and all this shit. It was like nuts, right? If you're gonna make a movie, show into a movie, you need to swing for the fences. You need to have some crazy plot.
Yes.
In there that forces fans to go see it, that challenges them to say, you need to check this out, but you're missing out.
Absolutely. I don't disagree with that at all. But also the fickleness of fans, man. Alien Earth is a good show. It's a good show. And you know why I got a second season? Because people watched it. People watched it, and they watched it to enjoy it. Right. And I think that sometimes people walk in with these expectations. We talk about this all the time. It's a movie, bro. Go enjoy yourself. Shut up, sit down for 2 hours. It's not going to fix the world. Right, exactly. What did Roxy say? Transformer 1 was great. I enjoyed that immensely. I thought that was the most superior, the superior Transformer.
So, it was so sad that flopped. That was so sad. She's right. She says me and the 3 other people who saw it loved it. Yeah. It was so good. I don't know what's going on.
Bro, me and my kids must have watched that movie like 9 times when it finally came out to digital. I love it. I had a good time watching it. But my brother, at any rate, you got anything else for us tonight, brother?
You know what? We'll leave it at that. There's so many things to talk about, right? So we can, entertainment, all that stuff. We'll save the stuff for stories for next week. Right. For instance, he hasn't announced it yet, but have you heard about how Kevin Feige is furious that his second trailer for Brand New Day leaked?
No, I didn't hear. I didn't even know it leaked.
He made some comment that he said, what did he say? He said, you people just keep being defiant. He's like, you're going to learn. You're going to learn. And it's like a dad who's finally had enough of your shit, kid. So what he's going to say or how he's going to punish us, I don't know, but I'm kind of curious.
Oh man, let's see. All right, I was looking to see if I can find an article, but Kevin Feige, he reportedly angry. And you know what, man? He'll get over it. You know what, man? Maybe if you leaked more stuff to keep us interested and to, fire the god dang diversity division over there.
I don't know who's doing it. Obviously, I don't know if it's diversity, but I'm saying I would find a way to throw the book at them. Whoever did it, like if I caught the person who did it, I would sue them. I would sue their parents. I would hire hitmen to kill their people, the cousins and friends of theirs, so that they just feel like their lives are falling apart. I would do horrible things to these people. But I'm a good Christian, remember, guys.
Paramount should definitely do that for that kid that leaked the entire Avatar movie on the internet. That's just everywhere now.
And this is why we can't have nice things. It's the people who they work for them who are betraying them. It's totally insane. But I will say this though, and once again, I'm never trying to blame the victim or whatever. Marvel is the victim in this case, right?
Right.
But I will say this: they have made us thirsty for content.
Yeah,
and they for instance, they should have had 2 Spider-Man trailers out already, and they should have at least had 1 Doomsday. The fact that they haven't had 1 Doomsday, that's insane.
It is absolutely insane, but could be worse. You could be Star Wars right now, man.
You know what's funny? Star Wars is in a worse position than DC.
It's
That's
never
wild.
been worse. It's never been worse, man. It's just I can't even understand what's going on over there. But you know what we're going to talk about next week, right? So they are releasing Avatar, the live action season 2 on Netflix. They did cast Toph. Everyone's favorite character is coming to your television, man. And I gotta be honest with you, it looks like they're trying to bring it this season with the second season of Avatar. So we'll get into that. I'll get the trailers and everything ready.
My mantis baby, right? I'm the original mantis. She's also the mantis match made in heaven. She's of age, right?
No.
I couldn't tell they're cartoons. I don't know who's a child and who
My
isn't.
name's Steve. You can find me on RizRadio.com Sundays and Tuesdays for my check. This week, your boy Joe Budden.
Oh,
Back on my poo list, man. And we got to talk about Jay-Z proving that there is no expiration date on talent. Jay-Z making the comeback of the year, or did he ever really go away? We'll talk.
wait, he's coming out with a new album?
No, he just had a performance that's got everyone buzzing, and he brought the type of energy that reminds people of like earlier Jay. So I don't know if there's a new project in works. And then obviously the lackluster beef, and I called it. This should be a fanboy episode, so maybe we should talk about it. I called it on this very show that the beef between Kendrick and Drake, if it resurfaces, it's going to be bad for hip hop, bad for America. So Drake releases a subpar album, then Kendrick releases another subpar diss track, proving my point.
They gave everything they had in that battle. Drake will never be able to perform or write a song. Basically, it's erectile dysfunction for the rest of his life in terms of the rap game. I'm surprised at Kendrick, though. I am surprised. Although I will say his follow-up to all of that battling was not very impressive.
No, because Kendrick isn't that impressive. He's an amazing talent, but not the person y'all built him up with. Y'all just you hate light-skinned people, and that's what this. But anyway,
you know what it is when somebody real quick when somebody is battling against the worst rapper or just a shitty rapper, you're gonna look like a god, right? So he's battling with Drake, and every time he looks like a god.
Bro, I found out last weekend that my mother hates Drake. Like, and I will get into that. She hates him. My mom is pro black woman, and she hates Drake for all those reasons.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God. He's getting all these white bitches pregnant. He ain't giving his sister a chance. But yeah, there you can guys have it. That's Fanboy Modeling School for this week. We're going to check it out next week. We're going to talk about that. But if you really want to know the skinny, just tune in to Steve's show.
Mic check.
Mic check every Tuesday and Sundays on Riz Radio, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern Standard. Check us out, RizRadio.com. Of course, you can catch Mantis on Burn Your Degree, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. both Saturday and Sunday. I don't have any fabulous forecasts like that, but I can't wait for your show, Steve.
It's going to be a good time, man. I'll be up all night recording it on Monday.
Get your ass to work. Also, guys, we've been slacking a lot on Riz Radio. However, we are now into the summer slams, man, and we're doing the slow march to July 4th. We're going to have a super spectacular 250th birthday for America on Riz Radio. We're going to be doing crazy ass shit, and who knows, we might even have Bex on the radio for once.
The most anticipated show in America.
People were like, when's Bex Radio coming out? I can't wait. And I can't wait either. But anyway, this has been the Fanboy Modeling School. We love you all. Until next time, ciao for now.